I look like a priest. That's a little better. Today I want to talk a little bit about feeling stuck in life. I'm sure we have all felt stuck at some point, right? I wanted to make this video because I definitely feel stuck in life, and I have for the past few years, but it's also just a natural common part of life that every single person goes through. Like, you are not alone if you feel like things aren't progressing or you feel like you're not where you should be. So hopefully what I say is going to resonate with you and either leave that stuck feeling behind, or you can fully embrace just being in it in that moment. Our situations are definitely going to be different from one another, but regardless, I think we can all relate in some way to feeling the shitty feeling of being stuck. So for me, I started to feel stuck as soon as I was seeing my friends graduate from college and I was still there. I ended up switching my majors a few times and dropping out at one point and going back. I ended up taking a year and a half longer than all my other friends. So I definitely started to feel like I was way behind. My life was not even getting started yet. Everybody else had life partners and had their careers set up and were probably already making like $60,000 a year, and I'm just here in college like twiddling my thumbs. That's how I felt at 24, still a child basically. And now for the last 2 or so years since graduating from college, my feeling stuck is literally physically stuck, like in my house. As soon as I was able to financially consider moving out, like being able to financially be able to do that, the pandemic hit and I was forced to really sit with that feeling of being stuck. So I live in the Hudson Valley in New York, which is north of New York City, and the majority of people who left New York City during the pandemic moved up here. So we have astronomical rent prices right now. Houses are so expensive now. So essentially nothing's even available. And if I want to move, I would probably have to leave the state, leave my family, leave my friends, and go somewhere completely alone. I always feel like I could be doing so much more with my YouTube channel. I could be having this beautiful background and a beautiful set and be able to film anywhere I want in my own apartment. It still makes me feel that uneasy feeling of when I was in college, like, ugh. So many people are in my position right now, especially with the pandemic. So the first thing that really helped me kind of embrace feeling stuck in life is by releasing that need for constant control that I have and just accepting it. So a lot of the work that I have to do on myself and I've been really trying to focus on is coming to terms with the fact that I don't have as much control over my life as I would like to have. Sometimes it is a good idea to just sit with that feeling of like being uncomfortable and really understanding why you feel that way. So for me, it's always like 99% of the time at least comes down to not having control. I don't have control over the housing prices right now. So hear me out. If you feel stuck in life right now, even if you do not relate to my situation in any way whatsoever, I want you to know that being constantly in this state of anxiety is going to do nothing to get you out of it except make your mental health deteriorate and you feel really crappy about yourself. You want to be more present in your body and just in your mind and take that wise mind with you so that you're able to make more rational decisions rather than decisions that are just based off of, anxiety and desperation. The second thing, this is probably like the biggest realization I've ever had in my life, and I tell everyone who is, asking for advice or trying to make a big life decision, this is my go-to piece of advice. Never feel at war with time. Realizing that we have more than enough time has completely changed my life. My entire life, I have felt so constrained by time, and I don't know why. I've always felt like my life would be over by like 26, like I would need to have my life completely in order before I hit 30. I would want to have a kid, be married, I want to have my career set, I want to be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time I'm 30 and just be on perfect trajectory for what? I've realized that life is like a book filled with chapters. Groundbreaking, I know, totally haven't heard that before, but it's so true. Some books have dozens of chapters. Those are my favorite, where there's like 3 pages and then it's a next chapter. And some books have chapters, you know, that are like 60 pages long and it's only filled with a few chapters. The same is for you and for me. Our books will never look the same. They'll never be the same size. The chapters will all be different. If you're someone like me who has seen these huge life decisions as like being set in stone forever, you need to hear this. Your chapter can be as short or as long as you want. If you're feeling stagnant in life, wrap that chapter up and start a new one. The example I like to talk about the most in regards to the situation is your career. I feel like a teacher asking this, but who watching this has felt like the decision you make when you're 18 to 22 years old about your career, that would be your one career until you retire? Me. That's a lot of pressure, especially for somebody who has just graduated from high school, who has had the direction of their parents and their teachers their entire life making their decisions for them, who has been giving them grades to tell them if they're doing good or doing bad. We don't have that guidance anymore when you graduate high school. It's all pretty much on you, and all the decisions that you have to make for your life are happening right at that moment. But say you graduate college like the normal age, around 22, and you go into this career and you're there for 15 years, and eventually you're like, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. 15 years is a long time. You are not a failure for wanting to change and switch things up a little bit. By then you're 37 and you want to start a new career, but you don't want to go back to college because then you'll be in your 40s and you're probably thinking, well, what's the point? I'm in my 40s. Say it takes maximum 6 years for you to get that degree. You'll be about 43 by the time you start your new career. You could be in that career for 22 years before you even hit the age for retirement. 22 years is a long time. Another scenario I want to bring up is relationships. So say you're 55 years old and you've already been divorced a few times and you're in a relationship right now and you're not exactly sure if you want to get married because what if it doesn't work out? You could be married to that person for like 20 years. You'll only be 70. Get married after that and have a whole nother 20 years with somebody. I've been breaking life down into 20-year increments, and doing that has really helped my mental health in terms of time and being constricted by time. I think being married for longer than a few years is a wild success, and it's okay if you outgrow each other and move on. Again, we're taught that one person and that's it, and if it doesn't work out, that it's a failure, and that's not true. And you will find somebody again. It's okay to start over and experience something new. Granted, you don't start something new while you're still in a relationship, but like maybe end things first. Life isn't as short as we make it out to seem. My ancestors have lived way past 100, and I'm like, well, geez, if I'm gonna live that long, I gotta make the most of all this time here. And if that's the case, I've got a lot of time to kill, and I have a lot of experiences to be had if I do live that long. So, you know, I'm also gonna be documenting that on my channel here, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And the third thing that I am doing to embrace feeling stuck in life is to do everything I possibly can with passion. If I'm placing my happiness in the future of when I'm gonna be able to move out and get my own place, I will be happy then. No. I'm gonna be happy when I'm walking barefoot in the grass today. I'm gonna be happy as I'm looking through the 4-leaf clovers and finding one. I'm gonna be happy as I'm pouring my tea and just be really mindful in those small moments. And that isn't always gonna be the case. Sometimes we are in a rush. Sometimes we don't have time to look for 4-leaf clovers. But if you just have a few more minutes to just find the tiniest little reason to get excited and to be happy, like go outside and find the tiniest flower you possibly can. Like those little moments, if you're able to make those really happy moments and make those a priority in your day, those tiny feelings obviously aren't going to make you feel any less stuck, but they definitely are going to take you out of your head and help put life a little bit more into perspective again. Like you can find joy in these tiny moments. You can find some source of joy while you're feeling stuck. Release the thoughts that are constantly telling you that you should be doing something else, that you should be guilty because you're not doing enough to get yourself unstuck. Sometimes there's nothing we can do in that moment because, you know, one door hasn't opened and one door hasn't closed and we aren't really sure where to go, and that's okay. Like I said, I felt stuck for a few years, gradually getting less and less stuck. And the difference now isn't even, you know, I'm still in the same situation, but I struggle less because the weight that I put on myself of getting out of here is less. I know it'll happen and it's gonna happen. The circumstances just aren't right yet, and that's okay. Just letting life be what it is. And if you're in a situation, you know, you are able to feel this way, like feel a little bit of gratitude for the small moments. That's also going to help you feel a little bit better about your situation. Like I try to tell myself, I'm so grateful for this extra time I had with my mom because when I leave, I won't probably, hopefully not, be coming back. I'm just grateful to have this one-on-one time with her. And I know I'll cherish that for the rest of my life. It almost makes me a little bit emotional. When we relax and just surrender to this quiet period in our lives, most of the time things are okay. I've learned that the more you try to fight that feeling and the more you try to get out, the worse it ends up feeling in the long run. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of a rambly one. I hope that you were able to resonate with it in some way. It's not necessarily like this is what's going to help you, but this is what helped me. Give this a thumbs up, definitely subscribe. I make 2 videos a week, and if you did like this video, I'm gonna leave this one over here, and I really think that you would enjoy it. Bye.